thrilled to have Promise Ukoh, the inspiring founder of Promise Ukoh Foundation. Promise started his foundation in 2013 with a vision to transform the lives of underprivileged people in Nigeria. Promise knows firsthand the struggles of underprivileged communities. With a bachelor's degree in philosophy and a heart full of compassion, Promise has partnered with people in America to create a nonprofit with a novel approach. Focusing on person-to-person connections, the Promise U Foundation raises necessary funds and creates plans to improve lives of people all over Nigeria. From building freshwater wells, solar energy systems, to economic development through agriculture, Promise is on the ground providing an example of inspiring leadership for others. And we're really looking forward to learning his remarkable story and his impact of making a difference. Promise, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the privilege to be here. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Valerie. Welcome, Baha. Lisbeth, though Chairman's already welcome you. Thank you for turning up. I really appreciate it.
Well, one of the things that really I find very interesting and inspiring about your foundation is it really is empower you on the ground, if you will, really in the lives of people, being directly involved with people. In many cases, nonprofits will offer a lot of money, offer a lot of funding, and maybe not a lot of direct mentorship and support. So I want to really explore that with you. And before we do that, let's just tell us about the foundation and what its mission is in your words.
Okay, thank you so much. I grew up in when you talk about poverty, there's a level that you say this is a wretched situation. So that's the kind of a situation I experienced while growing. A situation where I could not afford school fees. I could not afford good living condition. I had to work on the street to contribute to my well-being, to my schooling. That's to tell you how the situation was while I was growing. But then at a very tender age, I resolved that I'm going to grow to a level where I'll be able to support other children, that I'll do everything possible to make sure that many other children don't go through the situation I went through. And that's where the whole inspiration started. So 2013, that was on March 18th, in the middle of the night, I woke up and I had this inspiration in me. So I was looking for a way to match it. So I said, I'm going to do this in a more organized way, coming from the fact that I might not have enough resources to take care of all the people I want to take care of, because the intention of the foundation is not just to take care of people in Nigeria. We are looking at expanding to people across every rural areas of Africa and the world at large. That's the vision. But it has to start from somewhere. So that's why Nigeria is the first place where it is starting from, because there's a saying that charity begins at home. Charity starts from home, and I'm home here. So that was that middle of the night. My mom came out and saw me, brainstorming on what I'm going to do to help people, to help young children get to school, to help people have food to eat, to help people farm and all that. My mom looked at the situation and was very fun. She was like, you don't even have food to eat. We are still struggling. This is 2013. We are still struggling. Everything are not all right. And you're already designing ways to help people. I did not give up the hope. So I kept on working with it, kept on pushing 2014, 2015, 2016. And I resolved, 2013 is when I finished high school. And then I resolved, I'm going to start it. I started it. And the way I started it was this. I started going to help old people fetch water, help old people go long distance to help them get water. I run around for old people. That was just what I could do. It was more of self-sacrifice, being sacrificial, So I run around for old people, did all. So sometimes if I have $1, I will buy noodles, take it to the less privileged and share it with them. That's how it all started. Then it was not organized. Yeah, but I was always confessing, get Bush Foundation, get Bush Foundation. So it was when I wanted to register the foundation that it was changed to Promise Ukoh Foundation. I felt something within me like, this is you. You are the man. So that's how the whole journey has been. 2016, I got into the university. It was not easy. I had to walk on the street to buy university's form. I hawk sachet water, hawk what we call chinchin here, hawk granite, sold those stuffs to help myself. And in the university, it was not easy too, but I equally contributed to seeing myself through university. One of the things I did was every weekend I go out with my friends to do some labor jobs, some building sites. I help to work and all that. And I still make out time to sell, to hawk things on the street to save up to support myself. And then by then, I had my stepfather who was always paying my school fee. So when he pays my school fees, feeding and accommodation, I was sorting it out. Then the other thing is I met some good guys in school who loved me because everybody loved me. And so they offered to support accommodation. I stayed with friends in college. Most of the times I sleep on the floor. But the vision of Promise Ukoh Foundation was still there. A lot of things happened that should deter the foundation, but I kept the idea going. The massive breakthrough for this foundation came when I had my landmark. When I encountered Valerie Handler's here, she's here. That's when the massive breakthrough for this foundation started coming in. And I could get people support the idea and then go out on the street to help people. You know, Valerie introduced me to a group where I met someone and I told her about the idea, Lisa, of the foundation. And she said, okay. So she opened up Promise You Foundation in the US. When she opened up Promise You Foundation in the US, that became a major source of support to Promise Ukoh Foundation in Nigeria. Then she said, look, I love your inspiration. I love what you do. I'm going to support you. And then every other groups I've belonged to, like the PUI, the US, and then I got to do Landmark. When I did Landmark, Landmark was like an opener because I got this boldness to be able to confront people and tell people, to be able to meet people and tell people, I am running Promise You Foundation. I need your support. I need your presence. I can't do it alone. Then with this, people got more interested. Prior to my doing Landmark, I couldn't really tell people I'm doing this because I was shy. Yeah, I was withdrawn. I was like, what will people take me for? But when I did Landmark, I got this empowerment. I got this empowered, self-empowered to be able to talk to people out there and tell them, look at the foundation, look at what we are doing. And the foundation has recorded massive breakthroughs from when I did my Landmark last year, February, till now. We have about 6 children under our scholarship project. We have farm ongoing where we plant and then get foodstuff and distribute to people. And then we distribute foods to people in communities. We are designing plans to get wells for people. And then we equally, in the area of entrepreneurship, we have empowered one person to start up a business. I've visited schools. We have been able to share my life story with so many young children, and they get inspired. From there, we give scholarship, and lots and lots of things has happened from the time I did Landmark till now. And I mean, it's just the foundation to the bigger things that lies ahead.
Well, it's just incredible. I just have to say. There's 2 questions that I want to ask you, in particular for people that might be living in Europe or North America or in a part of the world that's had more time to develop economically. And I don't think the average person in those places can really appreciate what people deal with, what people overcome, and the ways in which people are truly resourceful, truly inventive, and truly resourceful dealing with those circumstances. Can you share a little bit about what that, what those circumstances are like and the ways that people are resourceful?
A lot of young people who endured my kind of situations take to crime or take to different kind of things as ways of escape, being emotionally traumatized, that level of poverty, that level of rejections and all that. But then I saw it as a way to redefine me and help me to be more compassionate, because I was like, if I went through this, then I should do everything possible to make sure that so many other people or other children don't go through what I went through. I think that's the better way of redefining situations of life. That you've gone through depression, you've gone through rejection. Instead of being in that state of rejection, instead of being in that state of frustration, you brace up and then look for a way, you redefine the whole situation and make sure other people don't go through what you went through. That's a way of making the world better. If every one of us put things this way, the world would be much more better than it is.
Well, if I looking at the photos that you've shared and looking at the videos that you've created, uh, and somebody of your education, somebody of your talents, there's always the option of going somewhere else to pursue your dream, and yet you're
Yeah.
here, you're here on the ground, giving yourself to people. There has to be something about the people you work with that
Yeah.
calls you back over and over again. What is that?
Thank you so much. I've definitely had there have been situations where I contemplated, like, why not go to Europe or go to America and build myself up? Judging from the level of networks I've had all around the world, why not go there to build? But it is not about me. What is killing the world, what is killing us in the world is me syndrome. Me, 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 me. I myself alone. That's what is killing us. No, I can't. I look at the people around me. Sometimes I walk through villages and I see people through poverty, see people come face to face with poverty. And I feel like, no, this is not what humanity should be like. And when I come in contact with these people, most times I cry. I feel tears drop my cheek, and then I have this compassion from within me. And I will be like, no, I have to be with these people. I have to be with these people. I have had friends tell me, young man, you're wasting your time there. But then it has to be about the people, because we're just doing things to make the world a better place. We're just doing things to make humanity better. These beautiful kids, like we have one who lost her father and would not continue with school or with schooling. I mean, the next few years from now, when she looks back at this time that Promise Ukoh Foundation stepped in to give her hope to continue with schooling, I mean, I'm just looking at how excited and how grateful she would be. The mom every day appreciates me. There are people that literally appreciate me every day. It is not about the appreciation they give to me. It is about that I am making impact in lives, that I am on ground changing lives. This is where I find my joy. This is where I find my fulfillment in. And this is my purpose of existence, that I can make other people happy, that I can make other people fulfilled. You know, few months back, we were able to put on the solar installation where I live, and about 15 people all around came to charge a gadget. They were able to charge their phones with that. They can be in communication. One who has his phone charged can save life. You never can tell. Because you never can tell a near-death situation where one will need to call someone to help. And then this is what is made available for these people. I saw the expression of happiness on their faces. I saw the hope. I saw the joy, and I found fulfillment in it. This is just all about it, that I'm living out my purpose.
That's I'm so moving. And I think that just so demonstrates what's at the heart of it. I'm really just kind of overcome. If you look into the future, Promise, can you describe the future you're creating? You know, you're young. You stay at this for 40 years, 50 years. What's the world you're building?
Well, I'm building a world of fulfillment for a lot of people that don't have people to support them. I'm building a future where a lot of people will be grateful that a stranger or whoever step into their lives to make things better. I am building a future where everybody that have been impacted by what we're doing will be able to stand up for people in their lives, in their future, in their time, whether they are related to the people by blood or by nothing. They will be able to stand up for them and be like, someone stood up for me. They will be able to support them and be like, someone supported me. Because this is, whether one likes it or not, it's showing kindness is a kind of altering one's psychology. That yes, you've been shown kindness, go out there and be kind to others. Someone told me one day, I helped a friend. He lived with me for like 7 months. I was literally, he was in a very, very challenging situation. I paid the rent of the place I stayed. Everything was being provided. I made sure I kept on giving him hope, speaking positively to him every time. And one day he told me, Promise, I don't know how to repay you for everything you've done. And I told him something. I said, no, I don't want you to repay me. I want you to go out there and identify someone or two or three or more who go through the kind of situations you've been through, and then be of help and succor to them. That's how to light up the world.
Well,
And that's what I'm working on.
It's extraordinary. I I think for a lot of us who are listening to this, you're the kind of person we want to be when we grow up. But you are speaking to the thing that is the heart of, you know, human desire, to have a life that has an impact, to have a life that matters, to have an, no matter how small or great, to be somebody who's living a life that way. And you express that so beautifully. And you're young, and you know, we talked about, you know, how somebody in your situation would have a lot of reasons to go somewhere else to fulfill their potential. And I hear what you're saying to the friends of yours. What would you say, how would you say that message is received when it's expressed so authentically?
Well, I think after I spoke to him, I observed him for some days later, and he looked at me one day later and was like, "You truly got sent to our world." He said, "You're truly a good man." Yes, I don't really want to be known to be a good man. I just want to do good things
Yeah, and I think
because
that's,
yeah,
sorry. Well, I want to make a point. I want to illustrate a point because, one of the things that you hear around Landmark is it's not about you, meaning
exactly.
it's about the contribution out there in the world. And it's kind of a paradox because if you're going to be bold, if you're going to be somebody that is going to make a difference, and you have to be willing to be an example to others.
Yeah,
And what you're really pointing to is when you take that bold stand and you're putting yourself out there, you also have to keep pointing to it isn't you. You're not, this isn't born of some super, uh, you have gifts, but this isn't
yeah,
about like you got born with this commitment. It's really the commitment
yeah,
that's animating you.
yeah. I'm gonna have this. Yeah, it's a big kind of a commitment because it will be very interestingly, most of the clothes I wear are not first-hand clothes. Most of them are second-hand clothes. I buy them at very cheaper rates because a friend met me one day and was like, "Why don't you wear good clothes, expensive clothes?" And I'll be like, "I cannot wear a shirt that worth up to $30 when there's someone somewhere around me that needs at least $5 to eat at least in a day." Most of my clothes, I wear clothes that worth $2, $3, $4 highest. Buy them from second hand, wash them because I just want to see people thrive. I want to see people. I don't want to see people just survive. I want to see people thrive. I want to see people happy. I want to see people. One of the inspiration behind this foundation is this. I thought of it deeply some years back. If we can provide food for people, if we can provide skill acquisition for people, if we can send people back to school, the level of insecurities in Africa will drop. Yes, we have insecurities in the world all over, but the truth is most of the people that takes to crime are hungry people, especially around Africa here. Most of the people, and they say an hungry man is an angry man. So we are not just giving people hope, we are equally giving people direction. Like after I did Landmark, I've had close to 25 to 30 people done Landmark. And they all come to me to tell me, "Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much." So everything, we're just working holistically, generally to transform lives. And that's what I love. That's what I love doing. That's my purpose.
Mm.
I, I'm always very excited when I get the opportunity to talk about this. I see people do Landmark, call me often. Promise, thank you. This is the difference I got out of Landmark. This is what, and I'll be like, it's okay. And most of the times, I go out of my way to make sure I get their phones charged, run around to get them data and all this. These are all, it's about, life is about sacrifice. This is where I found myself. This is what I have given myself into, not just where I found myself. This is what I've given myself into. And I find my own fulfillment in it.
I asked you a question earlier, and this is really kind of a practical question because
Yeah,
most if you participated with Landmark, we'll talk about Landmark for a minute. If you participated with Landmark up until 5 years ago, you would have had to have gone to London. You would have had to have gone to the United States, somewhere, Kenya, or, South Africa. But you're participating using a phone. And so that this is just a question that I think, for people that have participated in Landmark, people are interested in making the opportunity of Landmark available elsewhere. What are the things that, people have, what are the resources people need to be able to participate in, in Nigeria and other places with, on the continent of Africa?
Yeah, people need, they need, I used phone to attend. When I did my Landmark, I participated with phone, and it is not very, very convenient in using phone. So people need laptops, and then a lot of people need scholarship, needs funding for them to be able to do the course, to do the program. And that's it. And then secondly, people have data issue. Data is quite expensive here to do subscription and get your data. Is quite something expensive here. And then, like, thank goodness I have solar installation here. There's no electricity. I'm currently using my solar inverter. This is one of the things. Some people have generator, petrol, or what we call fuel, is quite very expensive. So they need all this level of support. They need this support. So these are the things.
Well, Promise, one of the things I want to just go back to for a minute is the future, your future, what it is that you see, what it is that you want to fulfill. And what are the practical things that you want to impact? What do you want? You have an opportunity for people all over the world to be listening to you and be inspired by what you're creating. But what are the practical things that you're committed to make available to the people you're serving?
Yeah, one of such is I was in communication with someone yesterday, and I was talking about going to some interior areas, like the rural areas, to distribute some of the goods we have. We need hillocks, we need truck that can help us access those interior areas. And then secondly, we want to purchase hectares of land so that we can cultivate more foods. Most of the lands we have, we rent them, but we want to be able to purchase hectares of land so we can be able to cultivate. And I equally want to network with people who are experts in farming, in agriculture, to be able to see how we can bring in more crops, more seeds and all that, to be able to plant. And we need more people to come in too, because we want to be able to pay school fees for more children. We want to be able to pick many children from the street and send them back to school. This is what I see in the future, that we'll be able to have 10 hectares of land, 100 hectares of land as time goes on, to be able to produce food in abundance. Not just food, we'll be able to give people jobs, because people who work in the farm, looking at the possibility of bringing some technical skills, some computer skills, to share it with people around. There are a lot of very smart kids here, very smart children, but they don't even have laptops. They don't have anyone to support them. They don't have anyone to teach them. But I can go to the cities and contact some persons, ICT personnel. And then if we have the resources, we can bring them to the communities. They teach these young people. And then you never can tell the next Mark Zuckerberg we are going to produce, or the next Elon Musk, the next computer wizard we are going to produce. A lot of them are domiciled here in Africa. We just need the possibility. We need the right resources. We need the right mentorship, the right presence of people to be able to push them and help them harness these potentials.
But I want to ask a couple more questions before we finish. And one question is, if you had a magic wand, what would, like right now, if you had a magic wand and you could make something happen, something really, really big happen, what would you use that for right away?
Well, someone met me with 60 hectares of land, 60 plots of land a few days back. And, the family want to sell it out, and they met me and talk about They were like, your foundation, you do this, and they have it at a very lesser price or thereabout, and they want to sell it. So if I have it, I'll be able to buy it up. And they were costing it at a cost of about $15,000. So I'll be able to buy it and then help people get into farming.
Great.
That's what I'm looking at.
Here's my last question before we wrap up. There are a lot of people can donate money to all kinds of causes. After a disaster, pick your favorite NGO around the world. Most of the time, people are donating in an anonymous way. They don't know what that contribution makes specifically.
Yeah.
You're hands-on. You're right there with people. And you're dealing with issues that have persisted for generations. You're tackling things that, inequalities, the lack of all of the things that you're addressing have persisted for a long time. And you're taking an approach that's very direct and very personal. What about that makes a difference that other kinds of contribution can't?
Well, we have a very distinct accountability system. That's one. And then two, of course, most times I get in direct contact with donors, with people that support, and I give them reports of what every dime they contribute does.
And how about on the other side with the people that you're out to make a difference with? It's personal. You're there. Yeah. You're there with all of these projects. You're known. The foundation has your name on it because you're willing to create this possibility of making a difference. What difference do you think it makes in the results you get that you are personally involved?
Well, most times when I go to support people or do donations or thereabout, I make it clear to them that it is not coming from me. I'm just the poster boy. There are people out there who care for you. And these people, most of them don't know you directly. Sometimes I give pictures, I give names, I give reports and all that. But then I'm sending them a message. Look, people who don't know you cares for you. Go out there and care for people, whether you know them or not.
I think it's a great place to conclude this. Go out there and care for people, whether you know them or not. Promise, it's just an inspiration that I do not have words for to be with you and talk with you today. And I really, really thank you for your time.
I appreciate. I'm very grateful. Landmark gave me this privilege to be able to share what we're doing. And I mean, this is another opportunity for us to expand. And I see expansion coming in. Thank you, Seamus, and thank you, Team Landmark. I really appreciate it.
Great.